2018. Chase Elliott's gonna be winning some races out here, maybe even a championship. Yo, I cannot wait. God damn, it's gonna be great.
Too bad Chase Elliott is ass.
We have just entered the month of February, and you know what that means. That is my birthday month, which is awesome, but the Daytona 500 is never on my birthday, and it triggers me every single year. But also, it means that NASCAR is back after 3 months. So we're going to preview the season, and I've been putting this video off for a long time. I said I'd make this video sometime last month, and then I realized that the shootout is next weekend, and yeah, I have to make this video now. So obviously 2018, new season, not new cars. I know, we're all sad about that. There are some new rules though, just to catch up before we get into like the actual driver previews and stuff, but pit road is going to be a little bit different with 5-man pit crews. So we basically took one man out of the pit crew, and now you're going to have a fuel man who can't really do anything, and then 4 other guys. Obviously your 2 tire changers, and then 2 tire carriers maybe, or no, actually you need a jack man, so never mind that. You have your fuel man, you have a jack man, and then you have your 2 tire changers, and then 1 tire carrier. I don't know. I don't know. It's the 5-man pit crew thing's gonna be weird, and because of that, you're gonna have a bunch of different teams running different kind of style of pit stops. Everyone's gonna be playing around the first couple of races to see what's the actual fastest way, so just keep that in mind, because it's gonna make pit road really interesting, and actually it's gonna mean, in my opinion, the first couple of races of the season, pit road is going to determine a lot of race winners, as you're going to see different teams with different tactics and stuff like that. The cars are not any different, unfortunately. They really are the same. They took another 100 pounds of downforce away, but the teams will get that right back through different methods. It's not really a big deal. The rest of the cars, nothing's really changed, honestly. There are a few minor changes, but you're not going to see anything really different in the quality of the racing. Dirty air is still going to be absolutely terrible. Tracks like repaved 1.5 miles are still going to be absolutely terrible. And Pocono's always going to be absolutely terrible. And then the worst race of the season, which usually is the Brickyard, wasn't last season. Last season it was actually amazing because it was a wreck fest, but we'll see if the Brickyard is able to live up to the hype. Also, hopefully we'll get rid of the inspection issue thing. So now NASCAR has a new kind of photo thing, inspection thingy, where they have like 16 cameras set up, and every car goes through inspection. It's about like a 2-minute process or something, and they could just 3D the scan and see if the car is illegal or not, and that's going to be a little bit interesting to see how it works the first couple of races. Hopefully we'll actually have cars that are able to qualify and not have to sit out of qualifying because they can't get past inspection or fail inspection 3 to 4 times and all that nonsense. Hopefully that's done with the inspection process. Alright, now that all the boring stuff is out of the way, let's actually talk about the preview of the season. The schedule has not really changed, other than in the final 10 races you have the Charlotte Roval, which is going to be very interesting to say the least. They've already gone through multiple configurations and see what it's going to be like. I personally don't want the backstretch little chicane, mainly because I wanted to see cars have to go full speed through 3 and 4, so it literally is half oval, half road course. But instead, you know, we're kind of doing it like the Daytona kind of way, where you go through the turns at, you know, full speed, full throttle. You don't have to slow down, and then you have to slow down for the road course section. A couple of race dates have been switched here and there. Not really any big news. I'm hoping Martinsville will have a night race. I hope they start that race like they did this past season, where they started at like 3:30, so that way when the race ends it'll be at night, because Martinsville night, oh, it's so beautiful. And obviously the Daytona 500, which is not too far away at all, the biggest race of the season. Apparently it's called Daytona Day, which is a terrible name for it. It's the Great American Race. Never let anyone tell you otherwise. It's not Daytona Day, it's the Great American Race. It's the race everyone wants to win. It's the biggest race of the season. I can't wait for it. Now I want you guys to comment down below, what do you think will happen this season? Obviously every season has unpredictable things that happen, whether it's a scandal or whether it's fights or whether it's something Brian France does, which isn't much because he doesn't show up to the racetrack often. Damn! But we'll see what happens. Now let's go to the team. So obviously I think the first thing I should touch on is the new Chevy Camaro. It's going to be the talking point of the season for the first couple of races to see how these teams, the Chevy teams, especially Hendrick and especially Kyle Larson, are going to be able to compete with the Toyota guys with the new Camaro. Now, they did testing at Las Vegas. If you guys did not know, they had a couple of days testing at Las Vegas just recently, and a Chevy topped practice each time. Kyle Larson topped both of them, so, you know, and throughout the session, William Byron was up there, or I think Ryan Newman was up there. So those are all Chevys that were up near the top. Eric Jones and his Toyota was up near the top as well. But Camaro had led the testing sessions, mainly Kyle Larson. So we'll see if it will benefit Kyle Larson most. My opinion, I think Kyle Larson will benefit from it, but I don't know if Ganassi will have better race cars than Hendrick, because Hendrick really have the most resources when it comes to that Camaro to make it their own. But I think Kyle Larson's a better driver than anyone. Actually, he's not better than Jimmy Johnson yet, you know, in terms of, you know, prestige and stuff, but he has an enriched amount of talent, you know, same amount of talent as Jimmy Johnson. So we'll see if Kyle Larson could overcome that, or maybe, you know, I'll be proven wrong and Ganassi will just bring out that 42 car and it will be strong, the strongest Chevy by far, and he could dominate a season like Truex did. So the Camaro is the big talking point with the Chevy teams. Let's go to Toyota, where you have JGR and Furniture Row. Now those basically the same team, as Furniture Row has gone back down to 1. They only have Truex, as Eric Jones has moved into the 20 and Matt Kenseth is now out of the sport. Now I'm expecting JGR to be just as strong as they've been. I'm not expecting them to get stronger. I would bet a lot of money Truex will not replicate the season he had last season, because I've never seen it before. Even in back-to-back seasons, you've never seen that kind of domination. The last time I could think of that kind of domination is probably Jimmy Johnson from I think it was 2007 and 2008. Those are the 2 years he was unbelievable. And then that was like back-to-back domination years. Also Jeff Gordon in 1997 and 1998. But other than that, I can't think of, let's say, like Kevin Harvick when he won in 2014 and absolutely, or was it 2014, he absolutely dominated a lot of the season along with Jeff Gordon. And in 2015, the team kind of took a little bit of not a lot, but a dive down. So I think it's going to happen to Truex as well. I think he'll still be strong, still one of my favorites to get into the Final Four. But I don't think you're going to see him have like an average finish of 1.8 at mile and a half. Like, that's unbelievably just ridiculous. So I don't think that's going to happen again. You have new drivers entering the sport as well, or entering the Cup Series, like Bubba Wallace. I'm hoping he does incredibly well in that 43. I know the car is not going to be a top level field car, but hopefully for Bubba, he can show his talent, run top 15 consistently, get top 10s here and there, try to win in the restrictor plates, show some talent at the short tracks. Hopefully he can go ahead and do that. Brian Blaney's put into a Penske car. Now we're going to see how that works, because I'm also going to touch on another Penske. Joey Logano, he had a nightmare season. I mean, terrible, awful season compared for Joey Logano standards. I'm expecting Joey Logano to bounce back, obviously. I'm just worried about the Ford and how much speed Ford's going to have compared to Toyota and Chevy. We have to wait and see. Brad Keselowski's touched on it, that Ford need to change the nose of their car. They haven't, so I don't know about Ford this year, but we'll see. And one of the newbies, 20-year-old William Byron, in a car that is going to be really hard for me and a lot of fellow Jeff Gordon fans to watch on track. The first time I see it, I will feel a little bit of pain in my heart, and then I'll feel a sense of happiness, or I'm proud that he's in that car. The same paint scheme, the Exalta Flames. It's going to be interesting to see an Exalta Flame paint scheme and not have Jeff Gordon on that car. It's going to be weird. It's going to be cool. But, you know, hopefully it's going to be something that he learns. I'm expecting big things out of William Byron. Big things. Just not this season. I've never have I expected a rookie to do well in NASCAR in their rookie season. I'm not going to expect it ever, to be honest. He might win a race. You know, I think he can win a race with how unpredictable NASCAR is. And the fact that I truly believe that Hendrick will have a comeback season. So that means all their cars should be up to par. But not this season. Just give him a couple of years to develop. William Byron will be wonderful. He's a wonderful talent. I'm gonna back away from him this season just a little bit. Hopefully he can consistently run in the top 10, kind of do what Daniel Suarez did last season, which is run top 10, kind of quietly go through your way of the season, learn as much as you can, and then just continue developing those race experiences. As we go through this season, obviously you will have championship contenders. I'm not going to predict who's going to be fastest in the season. We don't know. It's always going to be different. Someone might be fast the first 5 weeks, and then someone might dominate the rest of the season. You know, it's going to be a game of always trying to develop for the race team. So, guys, I want you to comment down below. What are you going to predict? What's your predictions? Just name who's going to win the 500. Name who's going to win the championship. I have my pick for the championship. I'm still confident on it. I made it way back at the end of last season. I just need to see what the Camaro does. I'm going to stick with it. I have to see what the Camaro does. And my pick for the championship is Chase Elliott. Now, yes, he is the driver I support, but I truly believe once he gets that first win, he's gone through enough experiences where I believe he will just knock them all off. He'll keep going, and we'll see what happens. I could be wrong there, honestly, because not picking Kyle Larson is going to be hard for me. Like, I'm going to want to pick Kyle Larson as the season goes on, in my opinion. But I'm sticking with Chase. I think he's going to win the championship this season in his 3rd year. I know, he hasn't even won a race yet, right? But I truly believe that the Chevy is going to make a huge comeback. I don't know if they'll be faster than Toyotas, but I think they'll be equal. Which means if you put a Toyota versus a Chevy, you put Hendrick versus JGR, throw Kyle Larson in the mix as well, and we'll see what happens, you know? And that'll be very interesting. Obviously, Truex whenever I say JGR, I include Truex in that team because I just feel like he is. And that'll just be very interesting to see. So like I said, comment down below, like the video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe. We're going to Daytona very soon. If you guys question if I'm going to be there, I'm not going to be there. Unfortunately, Daytona have made their tickets really expensive since they, renovated the track and all that, with the grandstands and all that. Like, I can't afford to go there, so I'm not going to be doing that. But hopefully, I'll be at Homestead again. And it's going to be a long season, so just enjoy it. It's going to be a very long season. Enjoy it. It's going to be a nice ride. There's going to be a bunch of races where I probably rant. There's going to be a bunch of races which are probably pretty awesome. And we'll see how it goes. Off to Speed Weeks and off to Daytona. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.
I can't change. Even if I tried, even if I wanted to, and I can't change. Even if I tried, my love, she keeps me warm.